Welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to another GBHL YouTube channel video. You're here with your channel host GBHL James, and I'm going to be bringing you a Monday hobby vlog. A little bit of a strange one for me because I'm effectively refilming this. I had filmed a number of excerpts to a hobby vlog in the run up to the Seven Stones double tournament because I had a few things to get ready for it, and then unfortunately because I went to go and film a battle report which will be coming to you this Wednesday, the Battle for the Shire with Ian Spiller. As I'm sure you can imagine, a Battle for the Shire involves lots of hobbits, and that took up a huge amount of space on my memory card. So I had to actually delete the excerpts of the hobby vlog. So I just thought I'd refilm it here, get it up for the Monday, and then I'm also probably going to try and progress on with a little bit of painting with the Rivendell Knights at the back there, so that you've got another hobby vlog from me next Monday. Because of course I am going away on my honeymoon. I'm getting married next week. So let's have a little look and chat about what it is that I did in the run up to the Seven Stones tournament. Well, as you all know, or some of you may know, that we decided to take the Birth of Rohan list, and it's very important to me that I could take these Sons of Eorl that I've been working on for so long, of which you can see at the back there. You've all seen showcases of these guys. I was very happy with a lot of the feedback that I got from them at the tournament. But for this list to work, I had to paint Eorl the Young. Also had to paint a Captain of Rohan, who I've got over here. I had to paint a bunch of dismounts for the Sons of Eorl, and I still needed to paint repaint three Sons of Eorl here. So what we're going to start off with first, we're going to start off with the main man, which is Eorl the Young. Now, it's very important to me that I made sure that Eorl the Young tied in nicely with what I've done with the Sons of Eorl. So, on first impressions, I really liked this model. I really liked the pose, I liked the cape, the way the cape was, I liked the horse, I liked everything about it. As you can see here, this guy isn't finished, and there's a reason why he's not finished. First of all, he's only got one contact point from his ankle to the base, and that snapped and broke off, and trying to pin it was a nightmare because it's a very, very thin contact point. So that's why you can see that I've disguised a lot of around the ankle there with some flowers and stuff. Now, I thought that painting Eorl the Young would be quite easy. It's mostly metal, chainmail and such like, but I found him really, really challenging, and the main reason is because of this. So if we get him nice and close, I don't know if we can focus there, it's his face. Now that side of his face there are no problems really, but it's this right side of his face, absolute nightmare. Bits of metal in there, it's just not, there's no detail which makes it a face, and as a result I had to keep repainting and going over it, and the metal itself didn't seem to have a particularly clean finish to it, and I don't know why that is, whether it's because it's been a stripped model, but I did strip it all the way down. I did wash it before going. But I did find it incredibly tough to paint. Now, I really enjoyed painting the cloak, that was fine, and as you can see, this guy isn't finished. I still need to finish the horse, finish the final couple of highlights on the horse, do the horse hair, also finish the saddle cloth, do the boots and the dark browns. One thing that I have done is, like I say, I did exactly the same kind of trim design for Eorl as I have done the Sons of Eorl, so it all tied in together quite nicely. And another thing that I did, I don't know if you can see there on the shaft of the throwing spear, but I've also done exactly what I did with the Rivendell Knights, except this time I haven't finished off with a sort of a light wash over the two, so as a result that's why it's a little bit lighter, which I actually prefer in some ways. So this guy isn't finished, and I did find him very, very tough to paint. I am looking forward to finishing him, but I'm going to leave him well alone for a little while because he caused me lots and lots and lots of problems. Now the foot model, again, the foot model, very excited about, was I think is absolutely gorgeous, and was much easier to paint than the mounted model. I don't know if you can see there, it looks pretty good, but again, there's something about it, something about the finish on the armour and the detail that I'm not 100% happy with. And again, I don't know if you can tell there, but the right hand side of the face isn't particularly well cast, and just, yeah, I don't know if you can tell there, but it's really, 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 really tough. So I've got to do some more highlights on the gold here. The gold is just, you know, it needs highlighting up. I did exactly the same with the spear shaft. He needs his boots doing, and the dark browns, just like the others. I also did on the back of the shield what had been done with the axe shaft, so I thought that worked quite well. And again, the cloak was really, really nice to paint. So I did struggle with Eorl the Young, I must admit. I didn't think I would because of everything that I've done with the Sons of Eorl, but I found it very, very different to paint. Now, one model that I really did enjoy painting was the Captain of Rohan. So let's start off with the mounted model. I've always really liked this model, but captains of Rohan are pretty poor, and when it comes to the hierarchy of heroes, you're pretty much always going to get Eowyn in there for the fight 5 and the 2s and all of that kind of thing. Yeah, he might be able to get up to defense 7, but he's pretty poor. Now, he's not finished. I didn't touch his horse at all, but I absolutely really enjoyed painting this guy. Painting his cloak was reasonably nice. The mounted model cloak, it seems to me to be a very similar cast to some of the rides of Rohan. I'm not a huge fan of that, but his pose is cool. I really love his helmet. Obviously most of it is armour, which is pretty easy, and I don't know if you noticed, but I've gone for a lot of the red trims. I did exactly the same with Eorl the Young there, and one of the reasons I did that is so that it ties in with my kind of Rohan theme of the red shields and the reds and greens rather than just the greens, so I hope that works quite well. So I really enjoyed painting this guy, and he was a bit of a grey man over the tournament as well. He did pretty well, lending his might where he could and his strength 4 where he could. I really enjoyed using it, and I love using the model, but even more than the mounted model, I massively enjoyed using the foot model. The foot model for the captain of Rohan was absolutely stunning, and I don't know if you can tell there, but I really enjoyed painting him. Again, he's not completely finished. I've got to highlight up through the leather browns. I've got to do the dark brown stuff for his gloves and his trousers, etc., and finish off the highlights on the shield and finish off the highlights on the gold. But wow, really nice model. Love the cloak on this guy. Love the did I finish the cloak on him? I think I did, yeah. I didn't do a trim on this guy. I really love painting all the reds as the undergarment. Just a really fun model to paint, really unique kind of pose. Massively loved painting it, and I think I'm going to try and find some ways to get Captains of Rohan into some more battle reports, because I think he deserves it. I really did enjoy doing him. So apart from the Captain of Rohan, I also had to do 3 Sons of Eorl. So you all know that prior to painting the 8 Sons of Eorl, which I would say are looking good, I had painted 6. I do have a lot of Sons of Eorl. I've got 15 Sons of Eorl. I had painted 6 or 7. I think I painted 7 of them back in my old standard, where I thought I was really good. So it was these guys. I'm sure you've seen some comparisons in some of the battle reports or some of the hobby blogs. So it was these 3 guys here. Now, what was important to me was that I at least got the cloaks to match the cloaks of these guys. So I haven't touched anything on him apart from repainting the cloak. And I have to say it was really weird painting over the white cloaks, because of course I primed these guys black, so it was a little bit different, but I have tried to sort of match the standard, and the same with these guys over here. I think I primed a little bit too heavily. I think I spray primed some of these guys, and as such some of the details been lost, which is a shame. I also had to do the shields for them as well, so the shields would match everything that I've done, but as you can tell I've not done anything on the horses, so all of that needs to be done. I did do some of the red trim on these guys just so it looked finished-ish, and one thing that I did do was add the flowers to the bases, because that's one thing that I've kind of really learned, is that, you know, a good base can make the miniatures look well good. Okay, so I was massively chuffed with how this looks overall. I have to admit, whenever any of these guys fell, the ones that I painted really nicely, I did ask if I could swap them for the terrible models. Well, I say terrible, the less developed, the old ones. This still isn't 100% complete, but that's because I am going to be moving on to my next project, which is going to be those guys up there, and you all know why. It's because I will be taking Rivendell Knights, I think taking Rivendell Knights to the Nova Open in America. Okay, so another thing that I had to do with all of these Sons of Eorl is to do the dismounts. Now, yeah, some of you might be aware, but I used the captains with Dead Orc as dismounts. I do have another 2 of these. These were relatively straightforward to paint where they were. I struggled a little bit with some of the eyes. They're not finished. The reds are finished, the green capes were finished, and I did the yellow line again so people knew that they were Sons of Eorl, not captains. I found the cloaks really nice to paint. The hairs need to be redone. That one's really not finished, this one on the end. And I've not touched painting the orc / Dead Urukai, whatever it is, yet, although I will do that. Yeah, they were dismount. I also want to add a shield to them. I've got some spare Son of Eorl shields, which I'm going to add to them just so that people know that they are Sons of Eorl. But I also use this opportunity to paint up a couple of other models which I wanted to paint, which was to get up to date with the Saga models. Also Grimbold here. Now Grimbold, I have to say, was really nice to paint, and I have used him as a Son of Eorl dismount in the past because I never used Grimbold himself. The cloak there is really nice. I've not touched the fur underneath, but I have got the red trim and such in there. There's quite a bit of work to be done on him. His helmet needs finishing off, his beard and face, his axe shaft, all the leather on his arms, all of the browns need doing, and the fur. If anybody's got any tips on how to paint fur, then that would be massively appreciated. I'm really looking forward to completing this model. Whether I use Grimbold or not in future battle reports, I don't know. Maybe we'll do just for battle reports so people can see some Helmingas. Should be a bit of fun. But one thing that I was much more excited about was trying to make some progress with these guys. So I've been promising for a long time to finish off my Saga warband, and I've nowhere near it really. I love these models. I love the cloaks on these guys, and I went for the same kind of theme. I went for the reds and the greens, so it tied in nicely with my Rohan. So these are my Huskarls for Saga. As you can see, not 100% finished. I do need to finish off the red highlights on this guy by the looks of it. And I also need to do his sword shaft, and I also need to do the boots and the trousers and such, which should be fun. There we go, there he is. But he's a lovely model, as are the rest of them. Again, they're not 100% finished, but they were just ready for this tournament really, so I could use them as dismounts. I would always use them as the last dismounts because, of course, I don't want to use non-Games Workshop models where I can use Games Workshop models, but I'm pretty sure that most people understand that it's very hard to get hold of that number of Captain of Rohan. So, and I have tried. I do have a few. So yeah, I did use some of these guys, but it was very, very rare where I needed to use all of them. All of the dismounts, I have to say, I was very lucky over the course of the tournament. So yeah, the Saga guys are getting there. Well, I say that's one Saga warband. I still have another 2 lots of warriors and my leader to do, and to finish these guys off, of course. So quite a bit of work, and that's something that you might see after the wedding. After I finish my Rivendell Knights, I'm going to complete my Saga warband. I also want to do some Guild Ball stuff. That shouldn't take too long. Obviously for Guild Ball TV, I played a game the other day and it was great fun. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually go and make some progress with these Rivendell Knights, because these are going to feature in next week's hobby vlog, because of course I will be getting ready to go on my honeymoon. One thing that I have done with these guys since you last spoke is I created a little bit of a yellowy brown wash, using Baylor brown onto the trousers. I've not done it with the captain, so if you can see the difference, let's have a little look. So yellowy brown wash over there, not done on the captain, and then what I'll do is I'll go back over that with a Sharpsy bone. I'm going for that real kind of British imperial look with black boots and you know, cream pants and the dark red capes or the silver armour. Very the King and Queen's kind of palace guards in Tangled, actually, I have to say, in terms of style. So yeah, I hope you like those guys. I'm going to go and try and get a bit of progress with them done now while Jane's in work, and I hope you enjoyed that hobby vlog. A little bit shorter than what I had filmed previously, because I'd filmed lots and lots of excerpts. So yeah, Eorl the Young, really tough to paint. The captain, really fun to paint. None of it completely finished, but I'm going to leave them well alone for a little while and just come back and touch them up whenever I get a bit of time. So guys, don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe. Support your Hobbit hobby. Follow us on Facebook and like us on Twitter, or the other way around, whichever way it is. And as ever guys, happy strategy battle gaming.